On Sirrus Mobile, on the iOS and or the Android, once it comes out, you can create as well as edit product recommendations. And in this example I'm going to demonstrate here, you'll notice I'm at the field level. I'm at the activities view down here on the bottom right, and then I click, of course, here. It activates the activities level as far as all the different layers that are available. But I'm going to come in here to this KSU rec. In this case, I want to come down here for the KSU for my DAP. And I'm going to actually create one from scratch here. So there's the product rec on the bottom, and there's the nutrient recommendation on the top. And the only difference between the two is the nutrient is 100% P2O5 or Elemental P. That recommendation with the product that's actually going to be spreading on the field. So I'm going to start out with the nutrient, which would be the top one here. So this is 100%, in this case, P2O5 recommendation. And you can see the rates and the values on the low end from 80 pounds per acre all the way up on the high end of 307 at the very top. But if I come up here in the top right, I can create a recommendation on this. And I'm going to convert this to a product recommendation. So I can use my own custom fertilizers or my own fertilizer, which is what I'm going to select here. And the product I'm going to select, I've got my short list made from that master list, and I'm going to use DAP. And the units are going to be pounds per acre in my case, but you would set this up what's appropriate for your part of the world. I hit the next button and it pops up here, and it gives me the different rates based upon that. It shows me my original values, and of course these match up perfectly over here. So if it happened to be below what the minimum was, in this case it's calling for 175 on the low end, but if you wanted it to spread at least a certain amount, you could set that at whatever that amount might be on the controller. We could lock that, such as if the controller could only put out 50 pounds, you could set it up when you create the recommendation that zero rates be zero rates, but 0.01 to 49.99 would get 50 pounds. That would be where you want to lock that at 50. This is already above that, so it really doesn't matter on that. We could also add in a cost up here. So if I come up here and click on the cost option, and I'm going to say this is $450 a ton, just to get some values in here. And I could also add an application rate as well. But now I've got the actual cost down here on the bottom and showing the breakdown on cost per area as well. This is as the original recommendation was ran through the equation through FarmRight and then sent down to your application. If for whatever reason that you saw that total cost and you want to adjust this and say total cost, the original was $4,460, but farmer decided that he wasn't going to spend that much money, so he wanted to put on only $3,750. We're going to honor that as close as we can on the agronomy to lower everything to where your min rate, max rate, average rate, and everything now has changed somewhat, but it matches what that farmer wanted at that particular reduced cost. Down below, we show you a chart of what the original was in the black and what the edited one is here in the orange. And then once you create that recommendation and you're satisfied with everything, you can hit the Save button in the top right, and this will save that as that recommendation name for what the default is or whatever you enter there. And now you've got a product recommendation. So if I hit the back button here and go back to this and scroll up here to the very top, I've got my DAP. You should see it showing up right here. You can also filter these layers by coming in here and saying, well, the only thing I really want to look at are my actual product recommendations or my fertilizer. So if I select the fertilizer and hit close, now all I'm seeing are the actual product recommendations for the fertilizer recs themselves. Now if at some point before it's spread, you select that DAP, you come back up here to the top right, and we can edit that recommendation. It takes you right back in here to everything what you had saved it out last as, and you can adjust this if the need arises. So you come in here and you could say, well, I want to adjust that average rate. I want to increase that by 5%. So when I hit done, we're going to increase that by 5%, and it pops your total cost and everything else up. So whatever needs to be done as far as editing the rec and or creating the recommendation from a nutrient rec, converting to a product, can be done all right here. And once you would finish making your edits, you'll hit the Save button, save this out, and it will save that out compared to what you had previous. And when I hit the back button up here on the top left, it takes me back showing me there's my DAP and what I essentially ended up with.